I can see it now. Political leaders in Chicago, in Illinois, they're going to go after the insurance industry. They're going to try and regulate the rate increases, which they can't really do now, but that's what they're looking into. Same thing's going to happen in Illinois as has happened in California. They will try and regulate the price increases. Insurance companies will say bye-bye, and they'll just have the absolute cluster that California has on their hands with their insurance industry. Let's get into it. Here we go. Major insurers' big rate hike is raising homeowners' bills, and legislators' eyebrows just, what's going on? Oh, you can hear these people's butts pucker, can't you? What's going on? No, I mean, a 27.2% increase in your insurance premium, yeah, that'll make anybody pucker, won't it? Oh, that's not good. And I get it. But State Farm is saying, hey, got a lot of hail in Chicago, got a lot of hail in Illinois. Therefore, 27.2% rates up. Otherwise, we're out. And Illinois doesn't have the ability to regulate the insurance industry like California does. So they're kind of off on their own. And that's why you've got, I am sure that the governor of Illinois he's going to come down on State Farm. He's going to say, you can't do that. State Farm is set to hike homeowners insurance rates by 27.2%, adding roughly $746 to the average policy's annual premium and igniting a growing political firestorm. And guaranteed leadership in Illinois will go down the same exact path, and they will try and regulate these increases in fees. And State Farm will say, well, that's fine. We're not going to raise the rates, but we're also not doing any more new policies. Oh, and yeah, we're pulling out of this segment of the population, this segment. Oh, yeah, and here. Oh, yeah, and no more insurance here. And what will happen to insurance? You'll have a restriction of insurers. Rates go to the moon. Nationwide, nearly 1 in 7 homes now lacks insurance due to owners' affordability concerns. And that's if you don't have a mortgage, right? Because if you got a mortgage, you don't have a choice. Your lender is going to make you have an insurance policy. But in Illinois, where regulators have little authority to block or review such increases, lawmakers are under mounting pressure to respond. Hey, you got to do something. You got this big increase. You got to do something. Do something for us, JB Pritzker. Do something for us. Let's go, Brandon. What's at stake isn't just higher monthly bills. It's a broader battle over whether the state should step in to regulate an increasingly unstable home insurance market. And when I read step in, all I could think of is, yep, that's going to happen. Take some time, but that'll happen, because why wouldn't it? That's the real question, right? Why wouldn't that happen? I mean, in these big blue liberal run states, and so much of Illinois is red too. That's what's crazy. It's red, but your leadership in the big population areas is blue, blue, blue. I mean, you've seen Let's Go Brandon Johnson. How's that guy still in office? That guy has the IQ of, I don't know, a refrigerator? Not high? State Farm says its 27.2 rate percent hike is a necessary correction after years of climate-fueled losses and rising construction costs. In its filing with the state, companies cited a clear pattern. Catastrophe losses in Illinois exceeded projections in 13 of the last 15 years. They're losing money. They're losing money in this market. All right, boys, need to jack those rates up. Let's go. 27.2. Creating what's called a persistent shortfall in risk-based pricing. So what they're saying is they're not able to collect enough right now to offset their ability to insure. All right? Okay. Now, where I would call BS there is if this isn't the case, if those numbers are off. But I know in California and other states, you got to be able to prove that. You got to have a hearing or two. And the state goes, I don't know. I'm not sure. We don't know if you're telling the truth. And the insurance company says, well, then we'll pull out. And the state goes, okay. All right. Okay. Here you go. Here's your rate increase. State Farm isn't alone. Allstate raised rates 14.3% earlier this year, following back-to-back increases from both insurers in 2024. 12.7 for Allstate, 12.3 for State Farm. Everybody is jacking their rates to the moon. To the moon. And they're saying it's because of climate catastrophe. Is it really? Is there really that much hail in Illinois? I mean, I don't know. I've been to Illinois. I've been to Chicago. I never saw hail, but again, I wasn't there during the winter. So clearly, I'm probably not the dude you should be asking, right? State Farm did not immediately respond to a request for comment from Realtor.com, but according to a statement on the insurer's website, the math just isn't sustainable. For every $1 collected from Illinois homeowners in 2024, company says it paid out $1.26 in claims and costs. When I read that, I'm like, is that real? Really? Really? So you can back those numbers up? $1.26? Yeah, that's a no-go, right? That's a no-go. That is a not functional business model. 2023, that number is even higher, $1.30 per buck collected. All right, so those business models, they don't pencil, right? They don't pencil. Again, this is in Illinois. They're not losing that in every state. They're not losing that in every market. But in like Illinois, in Texas, Florida, California, they're losing money. And so they're now at the point where they're like, okay, we got to charge more. We got to charge more if that's true. And that's where, I'm giving you both sides. I don't know. Hey, these are massive insurance increase to the premiums. Is it warranted? Well, the insurance companies say it is. All right. And then you got to let the state kind of deem, does this make sense? Can they ascertain $1 for $1.26 in claims or $1 for $1.30 in claims? If they can prove that, all right, we see your point. We'll get back to you. The biggest culprit, hail. State Farm reported $638 million in hail damage claims in Illinois last year, second only to Texas, which topped $1 billion. I have been in Texas when there is a massive hailstorm, and it is frightening because you've got golf ball, if not tennis ball sized, if not even bigger pieces of frozen, snow coming at you from the sky and just denting the F out of your car. I mean, hail damage is pretty common. So I haven't been in a really bad one, but I've been in one where, hail was like probably that size. And you're like, man, you got to get out of that. Yeah, that'll knock you out. It'll clear knock you out. Roofs get destroyed. Cars get destroyed. Windshields get destroyed. Windows it's $1 billion in damage like we just read. The heart of the company's defense is simple claim. If premiums don't reflect risk, the system breaks down. Let's think about that for a second. Premiums. Yeah. I mean, of course, because this is an insurance industry we're talking about. If you don't have the money coming in to offset these claims, then what happens? Well, pull out of your market. But those are the shenanigans that I think we will see. We will see Illinois leadership try and manipulate how they can and can't do their increases. They don't really have the ability now, but I bet you they'll throw some legislation in there. Let's go. Brandon Johnson gets involved. I think this is a great idea. That guy is just so brain dead, right? As a mutual company, State Farm is focused on serving its policyholders. Its website states, unlike companies with shareholders, our goal is not to maximize profits, but to earn enough to maintain fiscal strength that allows us to keep the promises we make and to support future growth. That just makes you feel warm and fuzzy, doesn't it? Oh, man, that is great. I just got a big hug from State Farm. Corporate nonsense. It's such nonsense. I got to do nonsense on my end, real estate. Hey, here's why Summer Properties is the absolute best. Here's why Reynolds & Kline Appraisal is just the greatest appraisal company. We all know that we're just pitching nonsense. Everybody's about the same. Yeah, everybody's got their own little tweak and their own little angle in the marketplace. But when everybody needs insurance, when you have homeowners that have to have insurance and you've got rates skyrocketing by 27.2%, those are massive, massive increases. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, billionaire, says that State Farm's justifications don't add up. Oh, where are we going with this? He blasted the rate hikes as unfair and arbitrary. Unfair, is it? We don't know. And arbitrary? It doesn't sound like it. You got the number 2 hail damage market in the United States? That's not that arbitrary, but JB, whatever. And accused the company of using Illinois policyholders to subsidize disaster losses elsewhere. They're subsidizing for all those losses over in California. We knew it. Who knows, right? I mean, who knows? That's internal stuff. Hardworking Illinoisans should not be paying more to protect beach houses in Florida. Oh, there's the shuck and jive, right? I'm going this way. We're going to head over this way. This is to get the attention. Let's talk about Florida. Let's not talk about the hail losses in Illinois. Let's talk about beach houses in Florida that are supposed to be underwater now, right? I mean, global warming, whole icebergs, that whole thing. Those are all supposed to be underwater, aren't they? He wasn't alone. Illinois House Speaker Emanuel Chris Welch called the hike wrong. Well, how is it wrong? Which part of it is wrong? Which part of this statement? Hey, we need more money to cover losses. How is that wrong? Tell me how it's wrong. Don't just put out a blanket statement. It's wrong. Because that's wrong. And promise scrutiny if State Farm doesn't reverse course. We think it's wrong based on nothing, and you should reverse course. I wish I could do that. I wish in business, hey, I don't think your offer is good. I need you to reverse course and do something else. That's not how it works, though, is it? We have to protect our consumers, Welch told the Chicago Tribune. Other top Democrats echoed the call, signaling that regulatory reform may be on the table when the legislature reconvenes. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Progressive policy that's going to absolutely drive this industry in the state of Illinois into the ground. I can't wait. Podcasts for days, weeks, months, years. Not everybody is on board with government intervention. Republican State Representative Jeff Keer, longtime State Farm agent, warned that aggressive oversight could backfire. Gee, you think the shenanigans happening in California might happen in Illinois too? Do you think the exact same thing might happen? Yeah, we got insurance companies dropping out left and right. He pointed to California, where a growing number of insurers have stopped writing new policies. Citing regulatory constraints. Now, in California, it takes such effort to get a rate increase that a lot of these insurance companies just haven't. They've said, screw it, we're not going to go through the hassle to do this because the regulatory constraints are so great that we're just going to take it for a while, and this is what we're doing. Up to the point where they had the wildfires, and then all of a sudden, all right, uncle, and the wildfires have been ongoing. It wasn't just the Pacific Palisades where, things just all of a sudden. You've had wildfires for a long time in California. You've had insurance issues in California for a long time. Are we going to see them in Illinois now? You start getting politicians involved, especially progressive politicians that don't know their beehole from a hole in the ground. They just don't. They're so clueless. They have no idea about business. They have no idea about making a profit because they're communists. Fair enough, right? Democratic, whatever of America. Democratic Socialists of America. That's what I was going for. The worst thing we can do is force insurers to underprice and go out of business. Yep, because then you don't have an insurance company. And the fewer insurance companies you've got, rates through the roof, and leave homeowners without a way to get their home fixed if the worst happens. Oh, can you imagine? You imagine a state-run program that is very active in Illinois? That would kind of be like a state-run grocery store in New York. That's going to be great. I mean, when that happens, if that happens, what do you guys think will happen there? Who's going to get elected in New York City? You guys think a Republican has a chance? I know there's that one candidate that could do it. And Mamdani, I mean, that guy's just a Looney Tune. I mean, he is what he is, right? He's literally a member of the Democratic Socialists of America. And he wants to have state-run grocery stores. Hey, I know, let's have state-run insurance programs. We've seen what happens with that in California. Be great. What could go wrong? Political divide reflects a deeper question. How do you protect consumers from skyrocketing costs without driving insurers out of the market. In Illinois, that debate is now front and center, and that's why we're covering here on News for Reasonable People. Why Illinois is uniquely powerless. Oh, doesn't sound good. It just sounds like, yeah. Unlike most states, Illinois has no meaningful rate review process for homeowners, meaning insurers can raise premiums without approval from regulators. Yeah, not the case in California. That is the opposite. They have to go through a very strict to get their increase through. Once a company files new rates with Department of Insurance, that's typically the end of the story. So that's the huge difference here between California and Illinois, is that you don't have the regulatory ability in Illinois to basically push back on these rate increases. So everybody in Illinois, well, you guys are just going to bend over and take it, and you're going to enjoy and smile and say, "Sir, may I have another?" That's literally what happens. And by "Sir, may I have another," I mean you're going to get more increases because there's going to be more of this stuff going on. They are literally now just trying to catch up with all the damage. That's what they're saying. That's what they're saying. Trying to offset the losses. And leadership in Illinois is saying, these aren't our losses. These aren't the state of Illinois' losses. It's losses from those guys over there, anybody but us. Because then they have an argument for, you know what, that 27.2, it's a scooch high. Let's bring that down to 15. Will there be some of that? Probably. Some kind of negotiation. All right, 27.2 is a little high, boys. Let's, what do you think about 18.9? And I'm just throwing out numbers. It makes no sense, right? It's what you can get. It's never the right number. It's the number that's right in the moment. It's a negotiation. Does this make sense? No, but we're going to do it because this is what we can do. It's what we can get away with. This is what we can negotiate. Now, lawmakers like Representative Bob Morgan want to apply that same framework to homeowners policies, creating a process where companies must justify large hikes with data, and regulators can reject increases deemed unfair or excessive. Proposals on the table. In the wake of State Farm's rate hike, lawmakers are fast-tracking a slate of proposals. Oh, this is going to be great. It's going to be great. Not for those of you in Illinois. This is going to suck, but just how this process goes. I mean, yeah, they're going to try and make this happen, and it's going to wildly backfire because all of these kind of policies, that is what happens. These policies that try and protect the consumer, in the end, at the end of the day, they have the opposite impact. It's like the state of Washington putting a cap on rents. All right, so you're going to cap rent at 9% this year? So you got a $2,500 rent payment. So now it's $2,750, $250 up. That happens. And on top of that, developers look at Washington State and go, hey, they are monkeying with the free market. They're capping rents. They basically signaled they don't want development of housing because why would we go into their market when we can go into another state that doesn't have rent caps? If you're a big multifamily developer, if that's what you do, why would I go into Washington to do that? You wouldn't. You just go, Washington, no, next state, whatever state that might be. Hey, let's just keep expanding in Texas. Hey, let's just keep expanding in Florida. Let's just keep expanding where we can, where we don't have this kind of regulatory oversight, where you don't have this kind of overbearing oversight. And so what happens to that 2750? Yeah, you've got a supply-demand issue where there's not enough supply of housing, and the demand is there. So now, 2750, and you're continually getting those rate hikes. You're continually getting those rate hikes because landlords don't have to increase them just because their yearly allotment is 9 point whatever percent. And I'm throwing that out there because that's what Washington State is. They don't have to. They have the option to. They can go up to that, but they're gonna, and especially if the market warrants it. Oh, so we have the legal authority to do so, and the market says we can get away with it. Boom. There goes that pricing. There goes that pricing. Not that hard to figure out. Because what company is going to go work in a state, going to build product in a state, where there's, the incentive is being taken out of it because long term, they're being regulated. Yeah, they're not. They're going to go elsewhere where states are promoting multifamily development. That's just how that works. You constrict a market, supply and demand takes care of the rest. So what happens next? State Farm policyholders will start seeing higher premiums on their bills as soon as August 15th. This sucks for people in Illinois, and that's just a big, big nut. But, even my buddy in Australia, he basically had a 35% increase in his homeowners insurance policy. 35% increase, some big numbers. This isn't happening just in such and such city, not just in California. This is happening all over. And the insurance industry it's having the squeeze put on them, or so they say, right? So they say. Maybe this is all just an enormous scam because we don't really get to see, side of their books. We kind of do, but I say that in a, big corporation type thing. We kind of get a look at it. The regulatory bodies that oversight on these things, they get a look at the numbers and go, this makes sense, or no, this doesn't make sense. And then they negotiate. So it doesn't really matter how much money they're losing or whatever. It's what they can negotiate. All right. We'll let you take 18% increase now, but promise us next time it's only going to be 12. Okay. Something like that, something along those lines. So what's going to happen in Illinois? Well, one thing, insurance is going to go up. It's going to go up. It's going up everywhere else. How much? No, right now, 27.2. That's a chunk. It's a chunk. Everything's going up, isn't it? Washington, Seattle has the highest Uber and the highest DoorDash and the highest inflation right now. Seattle metropolitan market, highest inflation in the country. Just poof. Yeah. Because we're constricting prices and we got a bunch of progressive ideology built in to our taxes. And we gotta fund all this ridiculousness. In Chicago, you gotta fund a bunch of ridiculousness. Let's go, Brandon. Let's spend money on this. This is genius. No, knucklehead, it's not. But that's what you're doing, and that's why your taxes are so high. So there you go. Some of the taxation in Chicago, when the house numbers I looked at when I was covering the the Tiffany Henyard, which, by the way, there just hasn't been much story out of that. No update on the FBI investigation. But some of the homes I was seeing, homes at assessed values of, $100,000, $150,000, and their taxes were like, I want to say $4, $5, $6, $7,000. You're like, holy smokes. You guys have some high taxes. Well, you got to pay for all those social programs. You got to pay for all those people not working. Socialism works for those who don't. That's what I'm going to leave you with today. Thanks for being here. I'd love to have you subscribe, hit that notification bell, hit the like button, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks again. Bye for now.